Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Jay and Cody Show. Jay, a weird kind of predicament today. Just me, basically. Which I don't think that's happened. I don't think you guys have gotten just me. Which, I feel bad for you. I really do. I'm not good at this. I'm not, you know, savvy at keeping conversations going and whatnot. And imagine trying to have a conversation with yourself. I mean, I barely like myself. So, we'll see. Whatever. Um, right now, Bernie Sanders is debating Ted Cruz on keeping Obamacare. What's good about having it? What's not? And what's funny is this is the thing most people won't watch. Most people won't be into, and it really is like at this moment, in moments like this, when it starts. 3.5 years from now, people are going to be political and they're going to give a shit. But right now is when we need to start worrying and looking into this and seeing, well, is Bernie right? Is he wrong? How do we feel about that? Maybe Cruz has some good points. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he should go back to working on the Munsters. I don't know. Whatever. But I want to see that reunion, by the way. I wonder what the dad Munster would look like now. Probably look like Caitlyn Jenner. I don't know. But no, that's a thing like we should be more talking about and getting into and whatever. We got all sorts of shit though. From what I've heard, that Obamacare might be, it's a law, so it's not exactly easy to repeal, and there's all sorts of shit going on with that, and it'd be interesting. I would really like to do a follow up after the debate. I just ended up noticing that we're doing it right as the debate's on, so I can give you guys more info after that. But yeah, we got all sorts of shit to talk about, and some of it I'm just gonna touch upon, and most of it. Yeah, I decided just to do this to like kind of touch base, and it's been a while, honestly, since we've been able to do anything. So I just thought, well, I'll just throw a quick episode out, and because we got the Super Bowl. But there again, like I don't want you guys to have to deal with like regurgitated shit, and you're gonna hear me say again and again, because I'm sure Cody wants to get in on his input on half of this shit and whatever, and yeah, you guys are just gonna do the same crap. But I will say this: looking at the Super Bowl 51, I tapped out. By the way, like I got to about halfway through the third quarter, and I was like, "This game's over. Fuck it." I didn't watch the full thing. Like an hour. Yeah, it was like 10:30 here in Kansas, and I happened to just look at the news as I do, and holy shit, the Patriots won. I'm like, what the fuck? So I called my dad, and then I started looking up clips while I'm talking to him about like what happened, and I was really annoyed by the way that the people I was watching with and no one else decided to be like, hey, you might want to watch it. Turn on the game. It's getting good. Whatever. No one decided to say shit. But I tell you what made me really feel like an asshole was there's this guy that I've been friends with for a while. We'll just say that. It's been a while. And I'm a Seahawks fan. He's a Falcons fan. We go at it every fucking year. Just shit talk back and forth. Him more so. Like, I'm not that great of a shit talker. It just be like, your team's gay. Like, that's all I got. Whatever. But what I can always say to him is, you guys don't have a Super Bowl. We totally got a Super Bowl. You suck. But, so when I left the game at, it's like halfway through the third, I'm like, well, it's over. It's done. I'm going to go ahead and go to Facebook, which I never go to Facebook. I rarely, like, get on Facebook. And, I just don't. I don't know. It's really old. But I decided to, get up on Facebook and to comment and just like send him a message. And I'm just like, hey, dude, enjoy tonight, man. It's gonna, it's awesome. You guys finally won a Super Bowl, and what a good way to do it. Just destroying the Patriots and whatever. And a real nice message I gave this guy. And that was the first thing that came to my mind when I found out the Patriots won. I'm like, oh fuck, I look like such a dick. Massive dick. So, I kind of went back and, like, was gonna say something, but I was like, nah, you know what? I'll let that sink in. That guy can deal with it. Um, but yeah, no, all the conversations are coming out now. You know what? What do you think? You know, is Tom Brady the best? And I don't even know if it's a conversation. Most people are just like, hey, he's the greatest quarterback. And I have to say I disagree. Again, I'm not going to go too far into it, but he, if if you put him on, let's say, a team, and I mean coach included, like the Dolphins in the 80s, he probably wouldn't have been as good as Marino was. But if you put Marino in this team, I think Marino would have been fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, even this last game, he didn't play that great. And I mean, granted, you could sit there and say, well, you didn't watch it. And you'd be right. I didn't watch the fourth quarter or any of that. But I watched the rest of the game, and he was throwing interceptions, and he just looked shitty. It was his defense. And Matt Ryan, really, I mean, it wasn't even the Patriots that won the game. It was the Falcons that lost it. You know, they could barely, I mean, what... Matt Ryan is such a moron. Like, would you not throw the ball even if you're just getting rid of it? No, just take like a 15-yard zag. It's no big deal, man. We're good. We're good. And the coach, Dan Quinn, who's he's a good guy. He's a buddy. He's a Seahawks coach. Was a Seahawks coach. Why the fuck aren't you running the ball? Did you not learn from Seattle? Run the fucking ball. You got fucking time to kill. And you got two great running backs. Run the fucking ball. Whatever, But yeah, I mean, it just kind of fell apart quickly as I saw everything. And I still and I don't know, maybe it's because I hate Brady. Like, if this was Russell Wilson, and they were, Russell Wilson has just won his fifth Super Bowl, and is he the greatest quarterback ever? I'd be like, yeah, he is. Without a doubt. And I'm probably just being harder on Brady, because I don't like him. I think he's a douche. And I think his coach is a genius, but an asshole, but I still think like his coach is where it's all at. In that defense, you really can't give enough credit to that other side. I mean, Brady throws the ball for 6 yards, and guy runs for 10, 15, and he gets all the respect. You're like, oh, look how great Brady is. Yeah, my son can throw a 5-yard pass too. Whatever. He is a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but the greatest of all time, I don't know. Anyway, so be it on that, it's kind of interesting, so to speak, that, as I was saying, had a busy day and whatever, or a busy weekend, I should say. And in line with the Super Bowl, it really does go with the whole Super Bowl thing. I probably shouldn't have said it, told this story the way I'm telling it. But it's also been kind of annoying to me. I've had something on my chest. It's just, and it's not shit. I won't pay for that. No, this is just, and listen, I think everybody goes through this or whatever, but there's a point in time when you have a lot of people not, like, you're texting them, you're trying to get a hold of them, and nobody texts you back, or, you can go for a long time and just you're not on the same page with somebody, and it just starts to seethe, and it starts to get, really annoying. You're just like, what the fuck? If I acted like this, I'd be a total dick. Well, I kind of had one of those situations. And it's even worse, because this is a guy that I work with. Well, kind of work with. We're working on starting a vape shop. And I'm like, check this out, dude. I'll hook you up with some good gear, but I'll need you to do some work for me. In return, I'll give you the gear. Right? Seems fair. Whatever. But it's been a week since I've heard from this guy. Like, I've asked him a question, like, hey, can you find out this for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do that? Nothing. I'll send him a text. Nothing. And it's like, I don't know, I'm really annoyed by that. Because I'm like, listen, if you're too lazy to go do this job, or if you don't want to go after it, fine, dude. But I'm going to take your money, too. I shouldn't have to chase you around like your mom telling you to clean your fucking room. That's not my job. So I've been in this situation for a while now, especially with this guy, and I'm tired of being the dad, if you will, and it's not my role. I've got a son already, I don't need another son in his 20s, but So I've been kind of dealing with this, and it's just really annoyed, and it really kind of came to a festering point this weekend. And like I said, Cody and I have been on a wrong kind of, not like we're fight. We just been different pages. I should say that. As far as I know, everything's fine. We just keep missing each other and whatever. Hence why I'm doing a show by myself. Anyway, so this weekend I just kind of felt, you know what? Fuck it. I got nothing going on. I'm not sitting around, waiting for my phone to not ring or whatever. I'm tired of like chasing people down and having to be the one to text all the time. So I just like went out, right? And so I always find the best experience when I just go do something. And I ended up stumbling upon a really good friend of mine. Well, I shouldn't say a friend of mine, a duo, if you will. A couple of guys that were, I don't say famous, but pretty well known. They happened to actually be at the airport where I decided to go. First, let me restart. First, I went to a vaping competition in Wichita. I had like some guys I wanted to talk to. There's some stuff, like I told you, with the vape shop I want to put together. So there's some tax stuff and jargon like that I had to learn about, and they were all doing this like vape comp. So I was like, okay, I'll go. I'll go here, talk to the guys, whatever. It's kind of how you get your foot in the door. You gotta be, social. They gotta know who you are. Anyway, so I'm going. Go up there, and then I'm hanging out with a couple of buddies of mine, and they're, hey, there's a protest going on at the airport. Like, really? Well, that's fun. I like a good protest. And so I decided to go ahead and check that out. And as I'm rolling up there, I'm seeing like a radio van that I know of. I happened to run into a couple good dudes by the name of Todd and Tyler. That was really cool. I'd been texting Todd for, I know him digitally, but not really in person. And it was the craziest thing, because, pretty much just, hung out with them and, interviewed people with them. It was like, wow, this is crazy. I would have never gotten this kind of opportunity. Never would have went to this crazy vape comp, went around talking to people. And there again, I'm just kind of grazing on things because I'm going to end up having to talk about it again, I'm sure, and probably. But yeah, we just hung out, and I basically was like, hey, I'm Jay, I have talked to you before. I sent you some of our podcast clips and whatever, and I basically inputted myself in the situation. Like, hey, do you mind if I just walk around with you and learn how you guys do this and whatever? They were cool with it, and it was cool. It was really, really cool. In fact, I think for a good chunk of people actually thought I worked with them, which was even cooler. Just being on that level. But it was a great day, and it was one of those days I probably would end up doing something else. If I wasn't feeling, if my little feelings weren't hurt and I wasn't so neglected. No, if I had, more communication going on, I probably would have been working and doing shit I wouldn't want to do, and ended up getting some real important work done and doing that. So it was really, really good day. So this really fulfilled Saturday, and it was great. Cut to Sunday, where I missed the Super Bowl, the end of it. The greatest Super Bowl in my lifetime, I completely missed because I tapped out on. And I'll say this, I started the day getting puked on by my kid. So, not such a great Sunday. Yeah, no, it was bad. I woke up at 5:30. And, my kid just, I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? There's puke all over my arm, all over the bed. Turning on the lights, and I jump like I'm a ninja, I'm ready, I'm helping him, and I know how horrible that is. Puking is the worst thing in the world. So I'm trying to comfort him and get some, trying to help him to stop and clean him up, and let's go brush your teeth, get some water in you. And you know what? It was kind of cool. I hate to say this, and I probably wouldn't. I just tell jokes or whatever if I was not by myself. Um, but it was actually kind of neat that I spent a good chunk of the time just like after I got done cleaning them up, of course. But we're just laying there like watching cartoons, and it was kind of actually a nice morning, which is weird, you know. It's just kind of, you know, I wouldn't say weird, but you wake up at 5:30 on a Sunday morning being puked on, and you know what? It wasn't bad. It was pretty cool. Like after cleaning up and everything, but just laying there and like we are watching, I don't SpongeBob or something, and you know, it was just kind of nice, like the sun coming up, and you know, I got my little man, and you know, it was a nice kind of memory day kind of thing going on, and you know, after the excitement that I had the day before, it was just kind of nice to be like to come full circle, you know, like I've got this other role that's really exciting and a lot of good stuff happening there, but like it doesn't even compare. Like I would much rather be puked on and wake up super early just to have like some moment of like watching cartoons and movies with my son all morning compared to being out like working with Todd and Tyler and doing this, you know. It's still like my son wins every time, you know. So it was just kind of cool. It was kind of interesting. Um, you know, the uh, the funny thing in Sunday went on. I actually called in sick. Like I called in that like early as soon as I like got puked on. I called it at like 6 in the morning. I'm like, I just got puked on. I'm tired. I feel like shit. I'm not going to work. And proceeded, you know, just to like turn my phone off. Like I'm not. So I knew I was gonna get a response at some point. And I haven't like texted like a couple friends and whatever just to let them know what was going on. So usually we do the show on Sunday, and that was part of the thing. Like I think I'm not sure. Cody was going to show up to do that. I say I think because Cody was. I thought he was going to come in to do the show earlier today. So I don't know, but I think that was another misfire where we just oops. Um. Anyway, so he turned my phone off and hung out my kid. Once I finally got up, I don't know, probably around 12 or whatever, my boss started texting me back. He has no idea about this whole vape shop thing that we're doing or whatever. He thinks a lot of like what I'm doing and whatever else is just through this podcast and whatever else. But uh, any moron, including myself, can just record my own stupid voice talking and put it out as a podcast. So yeah, that's not like where I'm making money, obviously. Um, but so he started asking me like, "Hey, are you gonna quit?" And I was like, really kind of like, "Oh shit." Is he wanting me to quit? Like, is that where this is going? Is this gonna be one of those, well, dude, like, if you're gonna quit anyway, and all kind of pissed off because, like, I called in on a Sunday, on Super Bowl Sunday, mind you. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna have to deal with this. Um, and I was just honest with him. And I told him, like, yeah, dude, I got this better job opportunity. Um, this is going on. I was honest that I was quitting. I wasn't honest on how I was quitting. Anyway, I told him, like, yeah, I got this other job opportunity, and this and that's going on. And, everything went well. But there for a little while, I really thought, like, that was going to be my last day. Which, by the way, I haven't called in. Like, I almost never call in sick. I'm not one of those people, I can't stand those people, actually, like, call in all the time. Like, come on. Well, I have a job. On the other hand, there's nothing better than like a day off. Like a day you're supposed to be like working or whatever, and you get up early even. Like if you get up early to do the call in, and then you're like watching the Today Show and you're doing all sorts of shit that you would be at work for. It's almost like an extra day that you didn't have before. And that is actually a really great feeling too. Um, but yeah, so interesting Sunday. Not as great of a Sunday as was a Saturday. I got to learn about a lot of stuff. By the way, I'm going back and forth. I realize that it's hard to do this by yourself. I can see why most of the like successful shows have someone else. It's almost impossible to just keep blabbering on. But I did learn something kind of cool on Saturday. The liberals, and I hammer the liberals a lot. I do. I think we got to be better. I think as a liberal, we need to be better about putting people off, about making people feel alienated because they say retarded or because they're not sure if to say African American or black. Like, come on, people. I mean that whole thing has got to stop. The Jerry Seinfeld thing where he tweeted Black's Life Matters, and that was such a big, oh my god, I can't believe he said that. Fucking, mixing up hidden fences and figures, or hidden figures or fences. I don't know. I just did it. But to think that you're a horrible person or you're some racist because you're doing that shit has got to stop. Just 100%. Like, I'm just being honest. It's so just repugnant. It's disgusting to society. If you're so hung up on what people are called, as long as it's not like the N word or, just horrible things. I mean, if you call a woman a hole or, hey, cunt, why don't you hand me that? I get it, alright? That's a little shitty. But to just like, to be so hung up on just like small little things and to ostracize people and be like, oh my god, you didn't know? They're not African Americans anymore. They were born in America. Okay, well, that's fine, but you're being cool by trying to at least try. You could say, oh, it looks like porch monkeys. You know what I'm saying? But they're not. And then they have someone like Donald Trump come in and basically say, I want America to be the way it was again. The way everybody was accepted. The way that you don't have to change the way you think. God is a king, and what you think is perfectly fine. That sounds good to somebody who, has been told you don't know how transgenders feel, and your God is wrong, gays are right, blah blah blah. And I'm not. Trust me. I'm an atheist. I'm for gays. I'm for trans. I love a trans woman. I and I do skirt on the other side of things. I do say cunt. I say black. I don't know if being a black is a good... I don't think you say a black. That kind of doesn't sound right. But, I say retarded at times, and I'm working on it because I realize that that's not a good word. Like, I realize it hurts people. And I think that's the key. If it hurts somebody, that's one thing. But if it's just something that you're just trying to get someone on a gotcha, that's ridiculous. That we gotta stop. Anyway, so I hammer the liberals for that all the time. I really do. I will jump up and down and say Alex Jones is a douchebag, he's a horrible person. Trump is an asshole, a bigot. He's a richist. I don't even know if that is a thing, but he is one, where he's destroying our economy and giving America to the rich people. He's totally doing that. But I'm on both sides. I'm not one or the other. And it was really interesting on Saturday talking to some of these people, how they think that it's only a race situation. And that really kind of bothered me. So, like, you understand the big picture, the things you're also missing here? Like, if the travel ban gets lifted and it all is no big deal, are you going to go away? Or are you going to go further and be like, oh wait, he's also doing this to our economy. He's also doing this to education. Everybody who has a seat in his cabinet hates their fucking job. I mean, some stupid hole was just given the Department of Education. I can't remember her name at the moment. Debussy or Debosi. I don't know. Debosi? I can't say it right. I need to hear it. But she fucking feels like we should bring handguns into schools. Teachers should be armed. And you know why? Because of bears, is what she said. Bears. Fucking bears. Really? Fucking What's his name? Rick Perry down in Texas wanted to get rid of what he's in charge of. It's ridiculous. We can't be so hurt by one side of things, though. We really can't. And listen, if the religion or if the race thing or the religion thing or whatever is your big thing, that's cool. Pay attention to everything else, though, too. Because your thing may not be. It might go away. I'm not saying it will, but it might. And that doesn't mean that you should go away. I think that that's what happened. I think that's how Trump won. So many people weren't there. The same ones that came up for Obama just didn't feel that with Clinton and didn't pay attention to the other issues. And they didn't see how shitty Donald Trump was. I don't know. It's just kind of the mood I got from going to that protest. Was there was so many people that almost, they never said I voted for Trump, but they acted like they were crossed, betrayed. I mean, I don't feel that way. I didn't vote for Trump. A second. As I'm doing this for, forever, that kind of wears on you. Anyway, yeah, it was just kind of interesting. And no matter what it is, pay attention to the other issues that affect you as well. I hate the fact that we're only political because everyone's political. I hate the fact that we're political because SNL's political. Or because, Lady Gaga isn't political. So then we need to be. I hate that. That's not an excuse. As adults, we need to pay attention to the news. Like actual news, not Facebook. It's just the way that we need to live our lives. Especially now, I think, when so much of it can be fake. Anyway, that is it for me, guys. I will, hopefully we'll both be here next time. If not, I'll get better at doing this by myself. I'm kidding. I'll see you guys later.